Qualifying time is going to be a little bit delayed, so if you're with us, please hold on. Some drivers may be coming in late, so if you're with us, thank you for joining us, but we'll be doing a proper introduction shortly, so please hang tight and listen to the beautiful music that is Formula 1 2017 menu music. Thank you. Hello everyone around the world, welcome to Apex Online Racing's Assist Division. Round 2 of 20 brings us to the Chinese Grand Prix, a very technical yet rather fast track. A couple things you have to look out for on the track is of course the first 3 corners, also known as, well, a lot of people nickname it the snail corner because it looks like a snail shell. So drivers definitely going to have to look out for that. Also the long straightaway before going into corner number 14. Heavy braking zone. Large DRS opportunities. Plenty of pass opportunities here. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you Formula 1 Game for retweeting the stream. Very, very much appreciated. And we're about ready to start qualifying. It worked yesterday, so we're going to do it again today. The first time for AOR, at least on the assist division side, we're going to have a pit road analyst down to cover a couple of the drivers today. Today's drivers we'll be covering will be Jonenzi and Zaid. So we'll be down there with her in just a moment's notice, but for the time being, let's get ready for qualifying. Wish all the drivers the best of luck. Keep it clean and keep it fast. Short qualifying session here, starting at 11 minutes 45 seconds. Doesn't look like to be any rain in the sky for qualifying. That shows there you see the about 4 cars already taken out to the track, ready to get going. Get the conversation started on Twitter using hashtag AOR F1. F1 AOR. Actually, hold on. Let me double check that tool. No, let me double check that hashtag. Yes, use the hashtag AOR F1 to get caught up in the conversations from the races that are going on. Plenty of races today. And AOR. An exciting time, staying up late, watching the Japanese Grand Prix. What a show. I see the cars starting out their out lap to get their tires all warmed up, ready to go. This Portuguese and the Toro Rosso, followed by Punchline and the Mercedes. Bopop having some practice issues, was unable to practice, so he's going to be a little rusty around China. So he's slowing down, waiting for the gap in front of him to clear, I'm sure. There's Timbo and the Sahara Force India. I'm the Zebra 94. Thank you for joining us here today for a very exciting, well, we hope to be a very exciting race. We're hoping these guys put on a fantabulous show for y'all. Take a look at Hungry Tadpoles in the Renault. Took it away last week. There's his teammate Lamero. Didn't have the best of luck at Australia last week, but hoping to turn it around. And Naughty in the Williams. There's his teammate Ismolny. Extrema. There's Zaid's teammate Velocity. There's JWF as the drivers are starting their flying lap. So let's find someone to keep an eye out for. Oh, I forgot to. There's Jacko. And then there's Zaid. It's actually right on board with him. Since it's early enough in the race, let's go down to our pit analysis. Brittany Alcala, who has more on the Ferrari driver. Brittany?
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Brittany. He wants to put in a lap time right away to see what his pace is going to be like. He also told us if he messes up, then he plans going out a second time. But with these short qualifying runs in the new season, he will have to manage his time well. He's hoping to land pole position here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Brittany. Yes, more on that. We talked to him and he felt very confident as he sets the fastest lap, a 1:33. And he's going to try to rush right back into the pits and try to set another lap, but that's going to build up his confidence right there, setting one of the few fastest laps of the race, or excuse me, of qualifying. So we just have 7.5 minutes left. Timetable glitch is still there, so we'll be checking in with the times tables very, very shortly. Tadpole sets a 132.779. He's definitely the man to beat here today. Absolutely crushed it last week in Australia. Let's see if he can make it a two-peat. There's Lamero going into the pits. The punchline already in. There's teammate Jacko. Joe Ninzi in the Haas. He's another highlighted driver today. We'll talk more about him very shortly. He goes around turn 14 all the way down to second gear, about mid 40 miles an hour. Around the final quarter, let's see what time he sets. High revs 5. It looks like kind of backed up the throttle just a bit before shifting up into 7th. Going around Snail. When your car has optimal grip, the first set of corners are easy, but as the race goes on, as grip tends to wear, pretty much driving on ice. And here comes a Renault. Might be slowing them up there, so let's take a look at this. It's actually Tadpoles. And there's Naughty going around a Red Bull around turns 12 and 13 before going on that long straightaway. There's into the DRS. Let's see what he can do. Up to 205. Can he hit 211? No, just gets to 209 before having to put on the brakes. And just 5 minutes left to go in qualifying. And he's going to cross the line. Let's take a look at the times so far. JWF has retired. He has left, but hopefully he can come back in. Punchline is at the time, but he's still on track. Lamero still on track as well. Tadpole with the fastest time so far with a 132.779. Zaid in second with a 133.232. Sway with a 133.331. Extremo with a 133.382. Velocity with a 133.653. Jacko with a 133.703 had an invalidated lap time first time around. Timbo with a 134.028. Naughty with a 134.120. This is Molney with a 135.305. With a 134.305, excuse me. Joe Ninzi with a 134.478. McSpy Moore with a 134.660. He did set a faster 133, but invalidated lap time deems it null and void. Portuguese with a 135.026. Bopop with a 135.55. And the two Danish drivers of Eller Nojet and Sojborg have yet to even set a time. So, now he dives into the pits. And here comes Joe Ninzi, our second driver that we will be, excuse me, that we'll be following. Let's jump down to pit lane and let's get with our pit analysis, Brittany, on Joe Ninzi's qualifying plans.
Joe Ninzi's team report was short and simple. 2 runs on the supers. He is trying to start 10th on the grid at least. If he can achieve that, he'll be able to start the race off with confidence.
Thank you very much for that, Brittany. But right now, the track is absolutely littered. The track's absolutely littered with cars right now, so everyone's trying to get into the mad dash to get in their proper positions. Jonesy trying to start off in 10th so we can get a nice run at points here today. So far, Hungry Tadpoles has set the fastest time and has held the pole position. But Zaid is second, so let's actually take a look at him. If he's even out right now. He started his lap. Let's actually take a ride around the Singapore circuit with the Ferrari driver. A very low third. Most drivers drop down to second. Goes up into 8th, breaks down, goes around the right hairpin. Goes up to 8th, holds on to it, goes around in 5th, playing with the throttle. Lamaros in the... Well, that's not correct. And looks like Zaid has abandoned his lap time, losing control on the double left-handers. And looks like he's just going to bring it into the pits and see where that puts him at. Or he may actually try to go again. Shows Extrema with the fast lap. Let's take a look at that. Just 1 second. Yeah, this is all sorts of messed up. So far from what I'm seeing, Zaid is off by half a second. As drivers are retiring from the session. And qualifying is complete. Everyone is wrapping up. Hungry Tadpole setting a 1:32.364, improving his time by a couple tenths. So that already solidified his pole position. I believe that's his second of the season. We're following Naughty around. See what he can achieve. And he's going to cross. Showing him in 11th, but that may change. Here comes Jonesy coming across, showing him 10th. But let's see if that changes as well. And here comes Velocity dragging along a chain of cars. He's going to move out of the way for the Red Bull of Bopop. With minimal practice, and he's going to cross the line and set a time. We'll see what that does. Looks like drivers are coming in. We can see if there's any more cars out on track. Doesn't look like it, so we're going to wait for time to expire. We'll be getting ready to go racing very shortly. Again, we'd like to welcome you to today's coverage of AOR Assist Division. I'm the Zebra 94. Down in the pits, we have the very lovely and beautiful Brittany Alcala. She'll be on in just a moment's notice when it comes to race time to continue to talk about more of Zaid and Jonesy. So more on that. Again, use the hashtag AORF1 to get into the chat on Twitter. Apex Online Racing promises to retweet your tweet. So if you want to get your face out there, your voice heard, go for it. Let's take a look at the official qualifying results. So Tadpole's in first, followed by Extrema, Jacko, Velocity, Sway, Zaid, Timbo, Punchline, and Joninzi. That is your top 10. Zaid's second run, not what he hoped for, so he's going to be starting down in 7th, and Joninzi getting exactly what he wanted, starting in 10th, and looks like he'll be able to battle for points here today. It is just going to get started. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and hit that thumbs up button. So we're about ready to go racing. Let's get some talking in the chat, talk about who's going to win, and that's probably now going to get taken. Gosh dang it, man. Really, twice. That's probably going to get taken down post-race, but it's going to be back up in an hour. And the driver's setting up their race strategy. See, I'm thinking that Naughty will win. So here we go. No formation lap. We're going to be going green flag racing, and we're off 28 laps of the Chinese Grand Prix as we have cars bouncing off each other. We have a Williams almost into the wall. Here comes Tadpole on the outside of a Sarah Force India. He actually loses control, goes into the grass, and Sarah Force India is going to take the lead. For the time being, he's going to rejoin on track. There you see the car snaking on through. He touched and he spins out. The initial winner of the season loses control, and he's going to have to start all the way from the back. He's waiting for another couple of other cars to go through, but let's go back up to the front on board with Sway. Zaid making a huge jump from 7th to 3rd, an amazing start for him. It looks like he's actually poised to potentially win this thing after a not so hot qualifying run. Let's take a look at the leader of Extrema in the Sahara Force India on board with him looking back. Ferrari running 2 and 3. There's Jacko, followed by Mick Spymore, and then followed by the 2 Williams drivers of Molney and Naughty. Here we go on back. There's Portuguese, followed by Joninzi, Lamero. As they're on the straight, let's actually right on board with Mike as he's battling with Lamero. As there's another car up there trying to get into the drafts. That's Joninzi battling, trying to go on the inside of Portuguese. Not yet. Very, very early on as the leaders complete the first lap of the race. Very intense, very exciting as Extrema gets the first lap, fastest lap. Excuse me, as we have a car dive into the pits. Lamero has retired from the session. Already Renault not looking good. Oh, Mick Spymore almost loses control, shuts off. I believe that was Naughty. Yes, it was. Trying to go on the inside, immediately shuts the door. That was a little bit of dirty play in there from the Toro Rosso. Let's move back up onto the leaders with Sway and Zaid. Was actually right on board with the Ferrari driver there for a bit as he chases down his teammate. Velocity had a strong run last week but unfortunately crashed when he had a wheel malfunction. Torpedoed it right into the barrier, and that was his race. So Hungry Tadpole's thought to be tough to beat, but first corner shenanigans has them all the way down, and with no safety cars, it's going to be tough. Coming up on lap 3, we will have DRS. There's Sway. You see Zay taking the defensive inside line. Sway locks up the tires, trying to go on the inside of Zayd, but cannot get it done. And so far, Zayd is holding on to position number 3 as Extrema is taken off and setting the fast lap of 1:36.385. Let's see how long that will last and that will hold. Getting a report from Lamero. He retired after trying to dive into the pits and went too close to the wall and popped off his tire. Like an acne-ridden teen, getting rid of pimples. Trying to dive on back to this battle. There's actually another battle going on, brewing back there. There's Mike battling with Joe Ninzi for P10 and 11, along with Portuguese in P9. So we got a nice little train of cars kind of separated themselves from the leaders. Leaders really took off. These cars are battling, jostling for position. Ooh, Mike trying to squeeze in there. Got his 2 right tires into the grass, but is able to hold on to it. No problem. And is he thinking about going on the inside? DRS activated this lap. Mike Cute doing a huge dive bomb. It actually may almost cost him. Yes, it does. As Joninzi's going to go on the inside around turns 12 and 13 along the bank corners. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Looks like he can't, as Mike is going to retake the lead. On board with him now. He's actually got DRS, but so does Joninzi. Portuguese does not. Side by side for the McLaren and Haas, battling for the last points on the board, and looks like Joninzi getting a tremendous exit out of it. These guys are battling for position like it's the last lap. Alright, and 5 laps in, cool your jets, guys. You gotta get through this first. But here comes Joninzi. Can he make a move on the inside? Looks like he can't just get it done. But actually, a little bump from the Haas driver, trying to take maybe even 2 positions of the Williams in front of him. These cars are bumping and banging like they're at a carnival fair, and they're in bumper carts. Portuguese still holding on to it, diving in. They shoves them in there. These guys are just ruthless with each other. Battling for 9th, 10th, and 11th respectively. Portuguese goes way wide, almost opens the door up for Mike. Portuguese still holds on to it. So 4 more cars in the back. Now Joninzi's trying to separate himself from this absolute chaos, but there's still more in the back between Punchline and the Sauber of Sojborg and Eller. On board with Punchline. You see Mike trying to get on the inside of Portuguese in the DRS. Does Portuguese have DRS? He does not, so he's actually going to get swallowed up like a guppy in a piranha lake. Here comes Mike on the inside. They touch. Race Punchline trying to go on the outside, thinking that they would connect, trying to preempt the future there. Couldn't get it done. But let's take a look at Race Punchline. Let's see if we can do it again. We'll check out with the leaders in just a bit. These guys are battling tooth and nail. Again, Mike holding on to position, but he has dropped significantly. He may have minor wing damage, which very well could ruin your race pace for sure, especially around the rather fast corners. Yes, Naudi is in this one. So let's take a look back up to the lead. We have Waddles, or Velocity. He did do very well, yes. I'm sure he's hoping to repeat the performance. And here's Zayd and Sway. They've kind of been close to each other ever since this drop of the green flag. It looks like Zayd is still able to keep pace and stay in front of sway. There's Naughty in P6, kind of by himself. There's McSpy followed by Naughty's teammate is Molney, and Joe Nenzi is trying to separate himself from the huge carnage, and looks like he's been able to do it. He's in the DRS zone. He's in P9. He's actually looking extremely well here today. Take a look back, see if those cars are battling for position. Looks like Mike has hemorrhaged some major spots. Not sure if he has any wing damage, but he's dropping positions like he does. And there is your pole sitter, Hungry Tadpoles, after spinning out on the first corner with some contact with the current leader. Stewards may have to take a look at that after the race and see what will happen. Right behind him is Punchline. Was battling for position not too long ago, but now gets shuffled in the back. And here comes Bo Pop. And Timbo rounding up the